Hunters are undoubtedly the most important part of solo leveling's magical yet violent world. These warriors are essentially the only humans that possess magical powers in this world, and thus they're our only hope of fighting against the terrifying beasts that can be literally found everywhere. Though all hunters are seen as powerful entities in solo leveling, there are still some who have managed to occupy the very top of the food chain owing to their unbelievable skills and powers. It's the national level hunters we're talking about, and nobody does it better than these guys. Thus, in this marvelous video, we'll be analyzing every national level hunter in the story in order to see what makes them so special. However, before we move into the fun bits, please take a moment to hit the like and subscribe buttons. It might just be a small click for you, but to us it means an awful lot. Now, without further ado, let's dive right into it. What are national level hunters? In solo leveling, the greatest calamity that humanity has ever faced was a dragon named Kamish. This fearsome beast was able to completely decimate every individual who was brave enough to go against it, but strangely, 5 S-rank hunters managed to stand their ground. When the dragon was finally defeated, these S-rank hunters were granted authority that equaled that of an entire nation as a reward for their services. This is when the title of National Level Hunter was born, as these individuals were so elite that they were considered equal to an entire nation's army. They are said to be far beyond the regular S-class hunters and possess extraordinary powers that are unique to themselves. As the strongest hunters in a world run by hunters, these guys exert tremendous influence over society and are essentially free to do whatever they want. Over the course of the series, we've been introduced to 4 national level hunters who were chosen on the basis of hunter points. We'll now discuss each of them thoroughly, so consider this your spoiler warning. Thomas Andre. Thomas is widely considered to be the strongest hunter in all of America and holds the first ranking in the world. He's a giant of a man with extremely large muscles, long blonde hair, and an overgrown goatee. He's extremely aggressive whenever the situation calls for it. Whenever Thomas is agitated, bright golden veins appear across his entire body, and that's basically your cue for getting out of his way. He's the kind of man who will even give his enemies proper funerals, no matter how heartless they are, but he has little patience for insubordination and disrespect, so make sure you follow all his instructions to the T. Due to his unrivaled strength, Thomas has complete belief in the ideology that might be right and will usually use his power and brute strength to attain his goals. Though Thomas is a very proud man, he can still be gracious in defeat and shows no hatred towards Jin Wu when our protagonist almost kills him in battle. Thomas was born to dirt-poor European immigrants and spent most of his childhood in an extremely harsh environment. This rough upbringing made him an expert brawler, and he also developed some violent tendencies. Years later, when magical beasts were discovered, Thomas seized his opportunity and became a true king when he was granted power by the rulers. This is basically the source of his ungodly strength. As the vessel of a ruler and a national level hunter, Thomas possesses a huge arsenal of abilities that can aid him in combat. He's a master hand-to-hand combatant with insane strength, speed, and durability, which makes him nearly unbeatable in close-quarters combat. He's also proficient in the use of reinforcement, which allows him to drastically increase his defensive and offensive prowess by covering himself from head to toe in golden armor with black horns. The armor's defense is so great that Jin Wu bruises his hands just by punching him during their fight. Thomas can also use capture, a telekinetic technique that allows him to pull objects towards himself. When combined with reinforcement, this technique becomes like a black hole in terms of power and is enough to pull Kamish himself out of the sky. Thomas also has an attack known as Collapse, where he smashes his fists into the ground and creates a shockwave capable of annihilating everything in its radius. Then there's the Power Smash, where Thomas infuses his mana into a single arm to throw a devastating punch at his opponent. I guess we can now understand how this guy managed to defeat a dragon. Lu Zhigong. Lu is undeniably the strongest hunter in all of China and rests at number 2 in the world rankings. A handsome and lean man, he likes to wear his long black hair in a ponytail with several wayward strands scattered across his face like leaves fallen from a tree. Whenever he uses his powers, Lu's eyes glow a bright yellow that we find genuinely scary. One can usually find him dressed in red or yellow cloaks with thick black collars, pants, and boots. In the revised timeline, Zhigong's hair was changed to white as he didn't become a hunter again until several decades after the reset. Lu is not really a pleasant person to be around as he's an aggressive and battle-hungry warrior who just can't wait to get onto the battlefield. He was honestly disappointed when he was unable to fight the Ant King. That being said, he is also a blunt individual who has no qualms about accepting that others might be better than him, as is the case of Jin Wu. Despite this, don't expect him to act humble and friendly just because you gained his respect. In the revised timeline, Jigon has retained most of his characteristics but has also developed a strong interest in martial arts. Just like Thomas, Liu has always been a swordsman of the highest caliber and can easily massacre a horde of ants in a single attack from his twin swords. He also possessed unbelievable speed and once sliced a giant into pieces in the blink of an eye. His energy slash attack is also extremely formidable and unleashes explosive slashes with each swing of his sword. Using this attack, Liu once wiped out an entire army of ants flying towards him. Other than this, he also has Ruler's Authority, which enables him to control objects via telekinesis and spiritual body manipulation. Christopher Reed. Christopher is another hunter from America who stands among the strongest warriors we've seen in the series. He stands at number 5 among all the national-level hunters and is rather proud of his powers. A tall, muscular man with wavy hair that has been shaved on both sides of his head, he's usually dressed in a light gray, long-sleeved shirt and pants. Whenever he's angry or using his powers, his eyes begin glowing in a light shade of blue. Though he's extremely powerful himself, he still becomes furious whenever he learns that there's a hunter stronger than him. Despite his ego, he isn't stupid and is insightful enough to take Norma's warning regarding his predestined death seriously. He is also known to be a solitary guy and operates like a lone wolf. Though he isn't the strongest fighter on this list, he never goes down without a fight and once attacked 3 monarchs all by himself, even though his death was inevitable in such a situation. As the vessel of a ruler, he's clearly one of the strongest in this universe, and we didn't get a chance to witness the full extent of his powers before he was killed off in an unseen battle. Still, he is known to possess Ruler's Authority, which allows him to move objects via telekinesis and can also use spiritual body manipulation, through which he transformed into a humanoid monster with flaming light orange hair. When he was in this form, he was capable of generating flames that were so potent that it took about 14 S-rank hunters to extinguish them completely. Sidarth Bachchan. Sidarth is a national-level hunter who gained notoriety for being the strongest hunter on the Indian subcontinent. He ranks at number 4 in the global hunter rankings and is clearly a powerhouse even by himself. In the original timeline, Liu described Sidarth as someone guided by their strong savior, which would often lead him to use his powers to protect people even when it's not asked for. He also comes across as someone with unparalleled ambition and a strong desire to rise through the ranks as a hunter in this magical world. Several decades into the revised timeline, Sidarth regained his powers as one of the strongest hunters the world has ever seen. Moreover, he also regained his memories of the original timeline as he was the vessel for a higher being. Due to this, he began believing that he had been chosen through divine intervention in order to play a great role in humanity's future. As he sought to restore his powers as national-level hunter, he soon succumbed to the Apostles' corruption as the entities offered him boundless power. When Sidarth came to know of Sung Jin Wu's role as savior of the previous timeline, he developed a strange desire to capture our protagonist, but fortunately he couldn't locate Jin Wu. This forced Sidarth to abandon his plans, and he started working on a new scheme by using the essence of extinct dragons to create dragon-human hybrids that could serve as hosts for the Apostles. Though we don't know much about Siddharth's powers, it's likely that he can use Ruler's Authority and spiritual body manipulation like most national-level hunters. Sung Jin Wu. Now, we would be completely amiss if we didn't mention our protagonist, Sung Jin Wu, on this list. After all, he is undeniably the strongest hunter in this world and has even inherited the position of the second Shadow Monarch from his predecessor, Ashbourne. However, Jin Wu's journey to the top was anything but smooth. He began his career as a pathetic E-rank hunter who is widely considered to be the weakest in the entire world. Then, after going through some extremely traumatic experiences in the Double Dungeon, he was granted the chance of a lifetime to become a player of the System. The System, a strange video game-like interface, allows him the unique ability to grow in strength without any restraints whatsoever. The System was essentially a magical program created by Kandiaru to help the Shadow Monarch Ashbourne create his human vessel so that the individual could absorb and use Ashbourne's unimaginable powers to their maximum potential. Its video game-like design is a way for Jin Wu to interact with the program without too many difficulties. Through this, Jin Wu slowly leveled up into one of the strongest hunters we've ever seen, and he eventually reached the very top of the food chain. He has almost immeasurable strength that allows him to damage the statue of God with nothing but a few punches. His attacks are so powerful that he was labeled to beat the national-level hunter Thomas Andre to within an inch of his life with just his bare hands. Jin Wu's speed after going through the System is also immense, and most opponents can't even keep track of his movement in battle. His durability is also unsurpassed, and the guy remained unharmed even when punched in the face by the Ant King. In addition to this, he's also a master combatant who can take care of fighters with way more experience without breaking a sweat. After inheriting Ashborn's powers, Jin Wu also becomes ageless, and even though he's 80 years old, he still seems to be in his physical prime. In addition to this, Jin Wu also possesses complete control over shadows and darkness, which allows him to reshape those phenomena into any shape he desires. Also, like most other national-level hunters, he can use powers like Ruler's Authority, which allows him to move objects with telekinesis. In order to see the full extent of Sung Jin Wu's powers, please take a look at our other video, which lays bare this warrior's entire anatomy and arsenal. Marvelous verdict! This list makes it evident why the national-level hunters are considered to be beyond most other warriors in the series. They have a wide range of magical powers that enable them to hold sway over this expansive universe, and it's always fun to watch these powerhouses in battle. Are there any other characters that you think should be up there with the national-level hunters? Do let us know in the comments section down below. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on all of our marvelous content. That's all for now, but don't worry because we'll catch you in the next one pretty soon. Thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and have a marvelous day.